Good afternoon, class. Let us start our discussion with a prayer. Abelia Nathaniel, kindly lead us in our prayer. Again, good afternoon, BSED EN21. May I know how are you feeling today? Are you happy? Are you feeling sad? Are you sleepy? Hungry? What? What are you feeling today, class? I can see that others are happy while others are still sleepy and hungry. So now, don't worry, because as we go along to our discussion, you will feel alive because of the learnings, and those who are hungry, just wait, and after the discussion, you can eat. Is that clear, class? Okay. So, class secretary, is there any absentees for today? That's good to hear. So now we are going to proceed to our classroom rules. First rule, mute yourself except you have the floor. Second is raise your hand virtually for you to have the permission to speak. One person talks at a time. Third, avoid distracting backgrounds or actions. And lastly is encourage other with appropriate response emojis. Is everything clear, class? Before we start to our discussion for today, I will play a short video clip to refresh your mind. Are you ready, class? Okay, let us start.
Minsan oo, minsan hindi. Minsan tama, minsan mali. Umaabante, umaatras. Kilos mong namimintas. Kung tunay nga ang pag-ibig mo, kaya mo bang isigaw, iparating sa mundo? Tumingin sa aking mata, magtapat ng nadarama. Di gustong ika'y mawala, dahil handa akong ibigin ka. Kung maging tayo, sa'yo lang ang puso ko. Walang ibang tatanggapin, ikaw at ikaw pa rin. May gulo ba sa iyong isipan? Di tugma sa nararamdaman. Kung tunay nga ang pag-ibig mo, tumingin sa aking mata, magtapat ng nadarama. Di gusto ika'y mawala, dahil handa akong ibigin ka. Kung maging tayo, kailangan ba kitang iwasan? Sa tuwing lalapit may paalam, ibang anyo sa karamihan. Iba rin pag tayo, iba rin pag tayo lang. Tumingin sa aking mata, magtapat maging tayo. Sa'yo na ang puso ko.
Did you enjoy watching class? May I know what are you feeling after watching the video? You're all starting to feel emotional, right? Get your heart ready because the video presented earlier was somewhat related to the discussion for today. Now, we are going to tackle about a novel written in English and it is entitled A Child of Sorrow by Zoilo M. Galang. Before we go on to the novel, let us first know about the background of the author of this novel. Who wants to read the first slide? Who wants to read the slide? Yes, go on. Alright, thank you. Pay attention to the slide, please. Class, who is this man? Yes, this man is Zoilo M. Galang. He is a Filipino encyclopedist and the first English language Filipino novelist. He was born in Bacolor, Pampanga in June what? June? Very good. Zoilo M. Galang went to school at the Bacolor Elementary School and then he went to Manila to study at the Escuela de Derecho. It is the country's eminent law school where he graduated in the year 1990. So, do you follow, class? Okay, very good. To continue, Zoilo M. Galang is a self-starter person. So, when we say self-starter, it means that someone who begins to work on their own initiative. So, he learned typing and stenography in English and Spanish all by himself. He is attracted to English language and in 1925, he took special courses at the University of the Philippines. Then, after that, he went to Columbia University for further studies in literature. In 1921, Zoilo M. Galang wrote the first Filipino novel written in English and he died in 1959. Now that you have an idea about the author of the novel that we will be discussing for today, let us now proceed to our main discussion. And the novel is entitled A Child of Sorrow. So who wants to read the first slide? Yes, please read. Thank you. So, the character here in the first slide is Lucio Soliman and his friend Camillo. Lucio Soliman can be described as a very poetic man. He preferred sitting all day just to read, and that is why his friend Camillo was too eager to show his friend the reality of life, which is there is a routine happening in every life, in daily life, with happiness and enjoyment. So Camillo insisted that his friend Lucio must take a vacation in their beautiful town of Marytown. So next slide, who wants to read? Yes, go on. Thank you. So when Lucio and Camilo went to Marytown, Lucio met Rosa Garcia. There, she is a young, innocent, and delicate maiden. And Lucio was madly in love with Rosa as he described his love towards Rosa will make Apollo's lyre play. And Rosa felt the same towards Lucio. Next, Abelia, kindly read the next slide. Thank you, Abelia. And up until the very end of the summer break, when they realized that they would have to spend some time apart from each other, Lucio studied and knows that he must follow his goals. Lucio rose to popularity because of his intelligence, and even though he became quite busy, he still longs for his greatest love, which is Rosa. He became sorrowful, but when Rosa sent him a letter, his strength eventually came back, and they both continue to cherish the power of their love. However, until a party in Marytown made it possible for the lovers to be reunited up again, when Lucio received a request to address the crowd and to speak in the public, the governor, which is the Rosa's father, was not happy and feels dissatisfaction for Lucio, and he immediately asks questions for Oscar, his closest friend and persistent suitor of Rosa. He was not pleased with the discovery that it was her child's fiancé, or it is her daughter's fiancé. Next is Calotes. Kindly read the next slide. Thank you, Calotes. So here, it happened the sad part of the story, where Rosa will be married not to her fiancé, but to Oscar. Lucio was too obedient to his parents, and that is why he allowed Rosa to be married with Oscar, even if he don't really want to do it. And that made both of them sorrowful. Rosa does not really want to marry Oscar, but she was forced because it happened that she was raped and was engaged to Oscar for the sake of their hair delicadeza. And for the last part, who wants to read? Yes, go on. So later, Lucio's father passed away, and weeks later, his beloved Rosa too passed away. So, class, right? This is, as you can see, the novel is very sad. It is very sorrowful thing. And can you imagine the pain of Lucio? Lucio was deeply saddened by this, and that's the end of the story of Lucio and Rosa, which is entitled A Child of Sorrow. And for our generalization, again, may I know if you're really listening? Again, who is the author of the novel A Child of Sorrow? Very good. What do you think is the moral of the story? Yes, very good. Also, make sure um, that if you fell in love with someone, make sure that you are ready to face the ups and downs that you might experience. And always, and for me, you always have to think, or you always have to remember that loving is beautiful. Love is beautiful, but yet it is painful. Is everything clear, class? All right. That is all for our discussion, and I hope you have learned a lot in my discussion. Goodbye, everyone, and God bless. Take care. Bye bye.